you get a contenders match, and 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 everybody gets a motherfucking contenders match. I'm John Rant with my review of WWE Raw from Kansas City. The crowd that didn't give a single flying fuck yes in Kansas City. They had to pipe in all of the fucking noise in Kansas City. Please don't ever take another WWE show to Kansas City. And I'm done butchering this Remy Zero song. Yeah, provided that my terrible rendition of that song, the Smallville theme, Smallville, a really hard show to watch given what Allison Mack did. Fucking hell, wait, Allison Mack? No, that's the Secret World of Allison Mack. What the fuck was that girl's name? Anyway, enough of that, enough of the randomness. This was a weird show, and it didn't start out all that bad. And then we got contenders matches and a whole bunch of stuff and a bunch of weirdness and a bunch of bad creative. And Vince McMahon really needs to fucking retire. They need to stop overly scripting the promos. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm just going to have a bunch of jokes for this goddamn review because why not have fun? And if they're not going to take it seriously, then why the fuck should I? But am I frustrated? Yeah, because 3 hours of weekly episodic wrestling television is difficult to do. That's why Nitro gave up after a couple years. Well, that and Turner was like, hey, maybe we should stop doing this. AOL Time Warner's going to take over, and now wrestling's being pummeled in the goddamn dirt, and we'll never see ratings like that again. We're definitely not going to see them on Raw, more in the pity, but that is Vince's fault. And Nick Khan, and I'm blaming everybody. I'm blaming every goddamn person in Vince McMahon's inner circle jerk. So anyway, yeah, Kansas City, Missouri. I know that Kansas City hasn't really seen good wrestling, or even decent wrestling, since the very early 80s, before Sam Muchnick retired, and then St. Louis went to absolute shit, and then, Jim Crockett took over Kansas City TV, and boy, that really got messy, and enough territorial stuff. Boy, this fucking show. Recaps of Charlotte and Rhea battling, and then Nikki Ash's cash-in. The cash-in, if you will. Man, I missed that opportunity right there. Ash. Nikki Ash. It's a weird, almost a superhero, in case you guys are not familiar with what Nikki Ash means. I mean, granted, they've only mentioned what Ash means about 80 million motherfucking times. So, Nikki shows up to a pub, and she's a new champion. She's all happy, and here's my issue with this. It wasn't the fact that she's happy. If she's invested in this gimmick, and people like it, that's fine. Do I think that Nikki's a bad wrestler? I think Nikki's a tremendous wrestler. I'm glad she's finally getting featured. I'm just a little annoyed it took basically new generation goofiness to get to that point. I mean, it's not Phantasmo or Fantasio. Phantasmo, thank God it's not Phantasmo. Bizarro. Anyway, so she was afraid to fail, but she is the new champion. Da-da-da-da-da. And here's Charlotte. It took 20 years to get to the motherfucking ring. Maybe if she took those pants out a little bit, she could breathe and walk better. Or maybe they're new heels. Or maybe she just doesn't give a shit. I'm going with the latter option. So Corey mentions how Charlotte has something oozing from her pores. There's medicines for that, and I don't want to know how Corey knows about that, but Andrade may want to get tested. I kid, but that's a bit weird. The commentary mentions oozing from pores of wrestlers. Oh, wait, it's confidence. You can't have confidence oozing from pores. It's sweat. This is how, medical science and physics work. So anyway, the usual promo where she accuses Nikki of being bratty. It is funny that Charlotte accuses other people of whining and being bratty. Now, I know that's actually her gimmick and stuff like that, and good for her, but she doesn't look like she gives a fuck. It's not even like a Lex Luger aloofness, like he doesn't give a fuck. Like, she really doesn't look like she wants to be there. Oh, but she's supposed to be superior. At least she's not genetically superior. We're not back in the 1940s, thank fucking God. But you people, she has to throw out the you people, each and every one of you. And then Rhea arrives to a pub. And I still want her to step on me, and I'm pretty much sure that everybody's just going to wonder, what the fuck is this guy on about? And if you're a new subscriber, congratulations for making it 4 minutes into the video before he asked that. So Nikki says she will retain, and then she gets some cheers and some boos. They're already turning on this goddamn thing. I couldn't tell sometimes what the piped-in crowd noise was and what the regular crowd noise was, and Kansas City has not exactly been a hotbed for great reactions. And let's be perfectly honest, there was a certain event that happened in Kansas City, and then, something that happened in WCW in the same venue just about a year after that tragic event. First of all, I resent your tone. If you get it, you get it. So they're like all arguing and everything, like little hens, cluck, 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 cluck. They're all doing this like the fox. What does the fox say? The fox says, I'm going to rip the hens apart. This is getting violent. Pearson Sonya shows up. Sonya having her pink out on camera. That sounded a lot less dirty in my head, but I'm rolling with it. And they say, hey, it's going to be a three-way at SummerSlam. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind. Three-way at SummerSlam. So it's already locked in that Charlotte and Rhea are going to get their crack at Nikki. Nikki Ash. And Charlotte says, hey, Nikki, I want you one-on-one to prove that I'm better than you. And they name it a contenders match later. Keep in mind that they already said Charlotte and Rhea are in the match, and it's not a contenders match, and Charlotte doesn't have to earn her way in there, for she is Charlotte, but also champions get automatic rematch clauses because they just undid that rule back, a while after Shane and Daniel Bryan, when they were GMs, said that. No automatic rematch clauses. You have to earn it. And I understand doing the contenders thing. AEW's been doing it with the World Title Eliminator or the Tag Team Title Eliminator thing or whatever Eliminator thing or number one contender stuff. And New Japan does it where if you beat the champion in a random 6-man tag or 8-man tag or multi-man tag elimination match, that you get a shot at one of their big events. And I understand the formula, and it even goes back further than what New Japan's been doing, but still, they were already in the match, and yet Charlotte and Nikki is named a contenders match, and they can't fucking get over it. So, we have Damian Priest saying he is challenging Sheamus. He's gonna fist his way to victory. Maybe that's just what the fangirls wanted. So anyway, Sheamus versus Damian Priest, a contenders match. Good. It's good strikes and everything, and Sheamus had that metal mask because he is dashing Sheamus Rhodes. And so later we just go to a weird, suddenly just cut to a break. Like they had weird cuts to breaks. I mean, I'll get into that a little later, but the mask comes off. Oh no, Sheamus is protecting his face. Now, I think it's just storyline now because they obviously wouldn't let Sheamus do this kind of stuff as tough as Sheamus is, given the medical clearance and all that stuff and everything. They would want to make sure he's healthy. But it's nice storytelling. There was a sloppy Alabama slam though, where it's like, Priest is just landing stiff. That looked really bad. We had some good strikes and some other good actions. It actually was a pretty hard-hitting match, and this wasn't the worst starter. Like, it was a contenders match, but at least Priest facing Sheamus, it makes sense. You build to SummerSlam, and the reckoning, or reckoning, I'm just going to call it the reckoning because why not make a joke out of everything? 1, 2, 3. And Sheamus like, he re-broke my nose. Easy for me to say. Get me a doctor. Get me a doctor. Dags, why was he Bulgarian? I'm just going to roll with it. Dags, you like Dags. And then we go to Styles and Omos versus the Viking Raiders. Raw tag title match because the Raiders beat John Morrison in a 6-man tag that Styles and Omos were, on that side of. So naturally, they get a tag title opportunity. And sorry, but Vince McMahon saying hadn't said a tag title shot, sometimes it bleeds over into my head because you hear things so often, you have to basically say them. That's how these things work. It's stupidity through osmosis. Not Osmosis Jones, because that movie, even though it wasn't the worst, was a misfire. A horrible fucking misfire. So, it wasn't bad, but here's the problem. I liked the Viking Raiders when they were War Machine, and before I found out that Eric's a bit of a stupid prick. And also the fact that, well, they before the whole thing with the Street Profits, where I pretty much just gave up on the Viking Raiders, and I've written them off, and even though they're great athletes, it is what it is. Almost did get shown a little bit. Edward James Almost, if you will. And Styles did get targeted for a bit. And the cartwheel community. Almost does scream at one point where, and I believe it was Hanson. I'm just going to call him Hanson. Hanson and Rowe. Hanson had his leg and he's always like, let go! And I don't know why that made me laugh. It's just him, like, you're just looking at like, what are you doing? Get the hell away from me. And then later he hits a choke bomb, and then the 450 on Eric 1, 2, 3. Thanks for coming, Viking Raiders. Oh, God, that's the Viking experience, is it? So then we get the sign behind commentary. Goldberg is covered by AARP. That made me laugh. That sign was great. That person deserves applause. Drew's lengthy Claymore gets a pop, and then he inserts it, and then gets an even bigger pop as it explodes all over, and the crowd is showered by the friendly fire from his lengthy Claymore. Man, I'm starting to think that maybe I have a few issues when it comes to viewing wrestling. So, Ginger's here. With Veer, by the way. Veer is the $1 million arm guy, believe it or not. I'm not fucking kidding. In case there are some people that still don't know this, that is the $1 million arm guy. He's in wrestling, and he's one guy from Indus-Shared that wasn't an idiot and didn't take the pictures of that, so they said, we'll repackage it. And we'll put you with Jinder, the WWE champion that very few people liked. And if you liked him, great. I fucking didn't because it was atrocious. And apparently the Hindi version of Clarence Mason was there because they just brought a lawyer out for no goddamn reason. He had the presence of Clarence Mason, which is actually unfair because Clarence Mason could deliver promos. I can't imagine that the promos from this guy will be all that good, and they won't be very good after what happened because Drew asked fans, should I apologize or beat them up? Drew's gonna kill you. They are basically saying F you to Samoa Joe, and they are trying desperately to rub the shit off that they covered Drew in with all these stories and fairy tales and everything. And then Drew versus Veer. I hope this doesn't veer into shenanigans. Aha, if you'll see what I did there. And Jinder keeps swinging a chair and hitting it, and he swings his chair from side to side. He does not do the Mario, but it does distract Drew enough. Veer takes over and actually does some good stuff here. And then the chair gets slid in. He's trying to hit him with it, or Veer is, and he veers right into a Claymore. I'm going to make a lot of veering into jokes because why not beat a dead horse to the point that it's rotted and you're wondering what the hell's going on. Hey, you want to see a dead body? So anyway, that poor goddamn horse. It's like the movie Secretariat, except the box office receipts aren't nearly as dead. So Drew then beats up the lawyer. And that was a big goddamn face to aim for. That was a lot of face. And he beats him up. Thanks for coming, lawyer. He's not going to be suing anybody. He's not even going to know how to spell lawsuit by the time, he wakes up. If he wakes up. Remember when Piper had a bright future in WWE? Or at least it seemed like she could? This whole thing with Eva is not good. I don't know if they piped in boos or what. The crowd gave up. The crowd was not popping, even really booing Eva Marie because, and I know some people like Eva Marie, and that's fine. You guys can like, what she does or what she doesn't do and tries to get anger by like not doing that much and getting a crowd reaction. Here's the thing, that only goes so far when you're given a reason to care. And if you're not given a reason to care, why the fuck are we watching this? Now they face off against Natty and Tamina in a contenders match. Piper's doomed. Fucking doomed. Absolutely fucking doomed. I'm not saying that she can't, continue to wrestle and do well. Her character's fucking doomed. This name is stupid. Even when she gets rid of the name, it's gonna haunt her. They don't know what they're doing. And she could have a Diesel-like run in the Women's Rumble. She could eliminate 8 goddamn people like Diesel did in, 15, 20 minutes at the 94 Rumble. And it still ain't gonna fucking work. And it's a shame because Piper Niven actually has some talent. And the crowd I thought the crowd died. Honestly, I thought the crowd either fell asleep, they got on their phones, or they just went into a, mass narcolepsy, which is apparently a thing I just invented. So suddenly they have a video of Lily doing the Lily-lution because it sounds like a weird Tiger Lily thing. It sounds like Tiger Tail. No, it sounds like Tiger Lily. Sounds like Lily Collins. I love Lily Collins. She was great and to the bone. So that they do that, the Lily-lution, and distracts, and we get Eva getting pinned and just flat out no selling Tamina's finisher. Also during this, it seems like during a roll through, Natty might have hurt her knee. She couldn't put any weight on her leg, and I hope she's all right. I hope this is just a tweak. I hope it's not a tear. Natty has been very, very durable. She managed to survive that goddamn farting gimmick somehow, and it worked. It's worked in her favor because she's a steady performer, really, really good in the ring. I really hope that she's not injured. And nothing to get it, whether she was a tag team champion or not. If she's out for a while, that's another blow to the women's division. They got to call more people up because Natty may have been there since 2008, or 2007, 2000. I think it's about 2008. She is a workhorse and she is an Iron Woman, and I hope she's not injured. If she is, I wish a speedy recovery to her. Get rid of the women's tag titles. Get rid of them. You want to have them go between NXT and Raw and SmackDown. That's fine. You don't have enough teams. There are released too many women, even with the call-ups. They don't have enough women between all three brands. Enough teams, at least, for 2 sets of women's tag titles. So anyway, we get Karrion Kross versus Keith Lee. No Scarlett still, because you have to basically have the smoke and mirrors taken away to, highlight the fact that Kross is a Q fucker and he can piss the fuck off. He's friends with Drake Ward. So you know what? I gotta say this. I met Kross. He was a nice guy in an indie show about 2 years ago. Finding that out, though, that's really fucking disappointing. That is really fucking disappointing. You would have thought that the guy that actually is pretty good in the ring, and he is. He's not for everybody, but he is pretty good in the ring. But that kind of stuff, there are certain things I can forgive. Being that goddamn stupid, no. And versus Keith Lee. Apparently Keith Lee is going to address something as to why he was gone for a number of months and what's going on. Whether it's an injury, whether it's something personal, I'm not going to speculate here. Whatever it is, I hope Keith Lee is in the right frame of mind. He's doing well, and if he needs to get in the right frame of mind, needs to take care of himself, if he needs to tell his story, let's all have open ears and let's listen. And I don't think it would be anything too drastic if WWE didn't let him back on TV. I don't think that. Bottom line is, I don't think it would be as serious, even if they kept him off for a bit. I think he had a positive virus test, and then he was off for a while, and I'm choosing my words carefully. I just hope he's going to be all right. So they cut off commentary mid-sentence to go to the break. By the way, this was just a takeover rematch, just out of nowhere. Takeover rematch out of nowhere. Jeff Hardy ain't going to be back on TV for a bit because he tested positive as well. I hope he's all right. I do want to say right now that even if you get the vaccine, you can still test positive, but it will end up, at least helping you not die. So get your vaccine, unless you still believe the January 6th stuff was all about patriotism, and then you guys can rot. So anyway, that's just a free one because they didn't even do the whole get your vaccine today thing. So it was meaty men bashing into each other, hard fisting from behind. Keith Lee got some shots in. There were some good suplexes. Keith Lee has just seemed off. He was off against Lashley. He was off here. And then he got a hard fisting from behind and the cross jacket, and eventually he ended up tapping out. Okay. This still doesn't help Kross because he already lost to Jeff Hardy. I'm not saying he's wrecked, but you cannot Mark Merrow this guy. Not that Mark Merrow didn't have charisma, not that he didn't have talent, but it was all about the woman. Vince McMahon's going to bring Scarlett on and make it like Scarlett's the star. Starlet, if you will. And then she's going to end up powerbombing Karrion Kross by this time next year. Watch them do that. It shouldn't happen, but watch them do that. I don't even think Scarlett is Scarlett actually a wrestler? Does she actually wrestle? Like, has she wrestled more than a handful of times? Like, anywhere? Like, genuine question. So anyway, yeah, Karrion Kross beats Keith Lee. And then we get recaps of Nikki cashing in. And then Nikki says that she will still be champion. She will still be a champion after SummerSlam. She's happy to defend it at SummerSlam. And then Rhea says that she gives Charlotte hell, and I still want Rhea to step on me. And then piped in booze for Dijak and Dio. It was me, Dio. And they talk about animals, eating smaller animals, become bigger animals. And hey, me and you, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do. And what the fuck was this promo? Stop overly scripting this shit. My God. Like, I want people to have paychecks, but fucking hell, you're better off just letting these guys go elsewhere and earn comparable money. This is bad. And he took on Ali and Mansoor. Retribution explodes because there's interactions between members of the group that used to call themselves Retribution. And Mansoor at one point hits a move outside. He's like, that was awesome. And Ali's like, you idiot, get out of the way. And then he stops Dio from, I'm just going to call them Dio and Dijak because they're better names. Mason T-Bar are fucking stupid. And Mansoor ends up hitting the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling on Dio. The surprise roll up 1, 2, 3. Keeps the title on Lashley until Mania 38, I say. If he loses to Goldberg at SummerSlam, just fucking release Lashley. Seriously, that is going to be crippling. At this point, because Lashley ain't going to get the title back, and Goldberg's only contracted for 2 matches a year, so it'd be stupid for him to win it, hold it until like the Rumble, because I think he actually has matches through 2022, and if he does, fucking goddamn hell, we are in for the long haul here. About as long as it takes him to wake up and get to the ring. And Goldberg's a tremendous athlete. Father Time's unfucking defeated, and he ain't been good since about 2000 actually about. Because the guy was impactful, in short bursts. What he did against Brock at Survivor Series 2016 was cool. Here's the problem. That was almost 5 years ago. And that was 86 seconds because he tore his shoulder, clothesline the security guards because, again, Father Time's undefeated, and he can't do that much. So Lashley refuses to be disrespected, and then suddenly Cedric and Shelton show up. Shelton with his Kyop name. Man, I miss doing videos with the Derb. And Lashley says he will take them both on at the same time. This is the second weirdest Oreo I've ever seen on the internet. You don't want to know about the first. Always delete your search history. And Lashley gloms and beats Cedric and Shelton, and I swear I've seen this match before. Have you seen this match before? He beats them. He hits a jackhammer on one of them, and then the Dominator, and then pins them both. He tops them both, and then goes backstage and gets head at the table. Wait, that's Roman. So, Morrison checks how moist his dripsticks are so he can fire his wet dripsticks into everybody's faces. So he can get the fans wet in Kansas City. Kansas Wet City, if you will. Styles says, I don't care what you do, it's a free country. I don't know why that made me laugh, but it did. They discuss strategy while Almost just stands there like this. And then, during Riddle's entrance, Corey says, when was the last time you saw a blue dove, Saxon? Oh, it happens from time to time, usually with a lack of sleep. And then they refer to Riddle's habits, or refer to stuff about Riddle, and then Corey says, I prefer to, have common ground with Riddle about, with his different habits. Oh boy! Jeez. Everybody likes to get high. Do you want to get high? So this is going long, but this is fun. Miz and Morrison get Byron wet. I never thought I'd see two Caucasian men with great hair repeatedly tag team and get an African-American man wet in Kansas City on camera. Again, always delete your search history. Poor Saxon. Saxon seemed legit upset. I hope he's actually all right. But yeah, Riddle versus Morrison. I feel like I've seen this before. I have seen this before. Was it a good match? Sure, Riddle can wrestle. And just because, the stuff got dropped in court doesn't mean that he wasn't guilty. It just means money can talk. Just saying. So, Miz at one point got Riddle's back all wet and then got a backsplash right in the face. Because why not make this as uncomfortable as possible? So the action was good, and then Styles almost distract Riddle. That's the strategy. They were going to distract Riddle by showing him something shiny or taking away his stash. Or maybe showing him, something, hey, we found a DNA test that proves this. So, yeah, the action kept rolling. And almost breaks a scooter that I don't think was actually gimmicked. And then Starship Pain. 1, 2, 3. Morrison wins by a distraction because of a broken scooter. Because fuck it. And then Styles clash Riddle while Randy chants break out. Because they want Randy's Venomous Viper to, just shower them with golden showers. Man, this is really weird. And then recaps the Reginald and 24/7 Championship. Truth with a live mic headset. Talking through his entire match versus Reginald. 24/7 Championship. I don't think Reginald has hit anything beyond that Molly go round, standing Molly go round thing that he does. He just does flip. He does impressive flips. He does cool stuff. He kind of did something like the Sin Cara thing where he clearly sprung off of a trampoline. It would be amazing if he didn't do it off of a trampoline. He just did it himself. But he is talented. He's a hell of an athlete. I don't know how good of a wrestler he is, but he's a hell of an athlete. And he kept eluding him. I don't know why in the world Truth had the live mic. And he eventually just does the standing Molly go round 1, 2, 3. And anytime a man lunges his taint at you, you're going to want to go down. Whether you go down willingly or you just go down out of pure horror is your decision. So then he escapes the Fury. And then Charlotte mentions drop kick. Wicked. Anyway, boy, I couldn't have sounded more white there. And boy, she got so much pyro. So much goddamn pyro. Nikki Ash versus Charlotte. And Contenders match. Again, Charlotte's already in the three-way match. She doesn't have to earn it. She doesn't have to earn to be a contender. What's going to happen? She going to face her again at some point before SummerSlam? Oh, wait. The match wasn't bad, but this crowd didn't care. And then she was a post-spot hero with her head being bashed in. Okay, the song didn't quite work. And then Nikki roars back, hits a crossbody, but oh no, it's reversed. 1, 2, 3. Just lazy lazy finish. And then not Sheamus, his interview. Poor guy. I actually don't know the guy's name. Something St. Patrick. Is that it? Anyway, he is interviewing Charlotte, and Charlotte says, "Why are you congratulating me? Of course I can beat Nikki Ash." And then Nikki challenges her to a rematch. Yes, it's the matches that never end. They go on and on, my friends. And then she beats up Nikki, and that's it. That's it. That's it right there. Okay. This review went on long enough. We've had a lot of fun. I gotta say, I didn't really like this show, even though there were some good moments. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm Charm Rethlin. I'll see you soon.